Welcome to another MX5 Restorer update. This time we've got one that's waiting to go to paint still, Laguna blue Ashley's welding up, the Berkeley and the green Respray one we're going to run through. Okay, welcome to another MX5 Restorer, what's going on in the workshop. So we're going to talk about the Respray one first. This has been in a couple of videos now and it's all finished. Roy's finished putting it all back together, so tell us how it went, Roy.
To be fair, it was actually quite nice to work on. Quite rusty when it came in, obviously, seen previous videos. So we did the full rear quarter, we've done the lower section of sill on this side, and obviously car was then stripped, sent off to paint. It's gone for
That's
quite
come
a
back
while.
quite nice, isn't it?
It has come out really nice. It's gone for quite a while. Come back, spent a week rebuilding the car, obviously meticulously putting stuff back where it should be.
Did it all go back together okay?
Yeah, it did. It's quite handy having all the bolts and screws in segregated boxes, labelled up, knowing where they go, makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When we strip cars down, we've got these sort of compartment boxes which are all labelled up. So, I mean, we know where the bolts go. We've been doing it long enough, but it just makes it that little bit easier rather than fumbling around in a big container looking for that bolt.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got a compartment, so when you strip a door down, don't you? You sort of put near side door,
yeah,
offside door.
Offside door, yeah, and it's obviously a separate one for the roof, and it just makes life a lot easier. And it's not just that if someone else comes in on the build to put the car back together, you can go right.
It does make it easy, yeah.
Up, and it's just so much easier to do.
Everyone has their own ways of stripping a car down and putting bits in a container, but when they're all labelled and in a compartment, it does make it easier to find.
But yeah, definitely pleased with the way it came out. It's satisfying seeing the stage it comes in, what you find, repaired, and then come back from paint, refitted, and you end up with an example like this. It's a nice achievement, and hopefully the customer will be happy.
I think it will. It's a nice looking car. It's when a MX5 is restored back to this sort of level where it's had a full respray, it really does refresh its look completely. It's, you know, when we do an arch or seal repair, obviously the rear quarter gets painted, and the rest of the paintwork, if it's not painted, okay, you know, it's got aged and it's been on the road. It just looks slightly tired than what it does with the new paint. But when the whole package is done, it really does sort of gives you what it was like to see an MX5 in the showroom many years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Looks nice. So you enjoyed working on it then?
It's not been a problem at all. Not been a problem at all.
Cool.
It's just been nice.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else to really say on this, is there? No. Gareth's nodding his head at me. You were supposed to shake the camera. That's it, yeah. All right, cheers, Roy.
No worries.
All right, let's go and have a chat with Ashley. You all right, Ash?
Oh.
How's it going?
Well, it's rusty, but it's getting there.
So on the last video, Ashley I think you just started cutting stuff out. The wings were on, but now the wings are off, and you can see what we've come. So what have you found at the front end, Ash, on this one?
Basically, the front section of the sills, both sides, was quite corroded. You could see before the wings come off, there was a lot of rust in this area and paint was bubbling up. So taking the wings off and had a look, whilst there isn't any actual holes under here, the metal is all very, very thin, and it's sort of, the metal's all distorted, and it just needs cutting out and replacing.
Yeah.
There's enough, if you just leave that in there, it's just going to come back through where the metal's so thin. So
yeah, fair enough. And what about the other side?
The other side's pretty much the same.
Let's have a look. Okay, so it's a little. It's better in some areas, but it's worse in the other, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of generally behind the wing area, it's slightly better, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's
this area here was a lot worse. There was a lot of when I peeled the stone chip off here, there was a lot of rust just held in behind it, and it's distorted the metal a lot. And I think the only reason it doesn't have a hole in that area is because there's another inner piece behind it, just stopping that going all the way through. So
yeah,
it's very dented there as well. Whereas it's just really thin there. So
earlier on we had a thin prodder, and as Ashley is correct, I think if there is another section behind this, if that wasn't there, I think it would have gone through, very much so. And it's got a couple of how's that turned out in the front wheel arch area?
It's mostly just surface rust.
I think that'll clean up, won't it?
Not really that thin there, so it should be alright.
Okay. And what about your repairs at the back?
This side, I've still got cutting out to do. I've been focusing on the other corner, so it's not really much more done. It's just the outers are chopped out. So
I don't think we had. Did we have this fully cut out on the last video? I'm not sure we did. I think you were cutting open that side.
Yeah.
But this side hasn't been started. But as you can see, inner seal, rear jacking point. It's all going to need replacing.
Yeah.
Right, let's go and check out what you've been up to. Okay. So you're welded, aren't you?
Pretty much. I've just got a few more plug welds to do around the arch lip, and then this side just needs grinding back, and this side is now completely rebuilt.
Okay. So as you can see, we've put a whole new rear seal end plate section in here. That has been. Yep, so that's all fully put in now, isn't it? Obviously, we've still got a bit of panel sealing and some primer to apply to the areas still, but it's still in the process of being welded. So that's one of the last things once Ashley's finished doing all of his plug welds to get done. But you're going to be done on this pretty much soon, aren't you?
Yep. I can crack on with the other side.
All right, great stuff. What else is happening on the car? Anything else?
It's having an undersill when all the welding's done, and obviously new front wings because the original ones were rusted out at the bottom, and then it's being painted down both sides, so it should look nice and fresh.
All right, okay. Well, I suppose this one will be going to paints early next week, so it may be on the next update or what's going on, but might be at the workshop, paint shop. I mince my words. All right, thanks, Ash. Okay, on my ramp, what I've been doing, this is a Berkeley which we've purchased to sell. Now there is a video that's going to be coming out on this, but do you think this is going to be out before this update? Might be out before the Berkeley video. Well, anyway, the lady spoke to us, but phoned us up and said would we be interested in buying her car. It's a Berkeley. It's a low mileage. I think it's 64,000 miles. Yeah, and it's very clean. So we did a little road trip the other week, last week it was, wasn't it? And we went up and we purchased it from her, just because it is in good condition. If you come and have a look. So when I say good condition, it had rusty arches and seals, which any UK MX5, is very rare that it doesn't. So I've cut this side open, and I've got to remove the inner seal. As you can see, this is done, and this was all caused. Basically, this would have gone for an MOT and would have failed on rusty seals at some point in its life. And because of the type of repairs, which I've run through before, sort of patches on MOTs, but the reason being is I've got so these are the metal work that was in. Yeah. Okay, so what side is what? Can't remember anyway. So it would have had a plate. Let's run through it on this side. So let's say, for instance, I think that would have been on there. Let me grab the panel. Bear with me. Okay, so that would have been on there like that, and that I think was like that. So panel rust would have appeared here at some point, and then it would have had a patch repaired on it, which is this here. This is part of the old wing, and that would have been put on there. I don't know when that was done, but it was probably some years ago. But then what was also on here as well was some filler. So the rust had started coming back from this patch repair, and then filler was also put on top of that. If this, when this patch was put on, if this seal was probably repaired the correct way the first time, whereas it being cut out, treated, that may have been the end of the scenario, but it was just allowed to continue to grow. So it's rotted out the inner seal, it's travelled down, and it's also would have travelled up the arch. It's not too bad. We normally cut out a lot worse than this, but we felt that this car is going to be going up for sale, and because it is very clean underneath, it warranted new arches, inner seals, and having the full treatment of what's required, really. As you can see underneath, for a UK spec car, it is very clean. You know, there's some very small areas of some very small like surface rust, but it is very, very minimal compared to what you would normally expect to see from a UK spec car. A UK spec MX5 of this age that has been in the weather it's a lot worse than this underneath. You can always tell a pretty good MX5 just because of the lines on the welds and the seams. You know, there's just no distortion. If you coming down to the front floor rail, around this joining section here is always an area where they rust out. There's just nothing there, and nothing of any significance at all. And it's just generally a clean car. Again, this side, when you come down the seal section, all these, I don't know, can you see that there, Gareth? Yeah. There's normally corrosion all around these points. You know, the lines here are nice and clean. This is another area where it's typically a lot of corrosion. Again, you know, this has had no, this hasn't had any additional undersealing, has it? I think it's all original. There's paint there. Yeah, I don't think this has been undersealed. I think this is all original undersealing, isn't it? Yeah, because look. Yeah, it's just the lady's owned it for 20 years. It's been in a garage. It probably hasn't been driven out in like bad weather, in the snow. But it's an MX5 because of the design of the rear seals. It would have started to have some rust because moisture gets in there. But if it's not treated right, it will escalate. It does have an oil leak, which Gareth noticed on the way back from picking it up, didn't you? Sort of an occasional smell. Again, it's not a bad one. It's literally the cam angle sensor O-ring, and also a little bit to do with the cam cover gasket as well. It's dripping, and we're going to sort that out. So it'll be given a once over. It's going to paint to have the rear quarters painted. There's a couple of other things that we're gonna do on it, but yeah, stay tuned. This is going to be put up for sale, and we'll put some more information out there soon. I think that's it really, isn't it? Excuse me, I've unplugged the mic, caught the mic. We're trying a new position on the mic because, as you would have seen from our last video, when I'm chatting to the lads, their audio isn't that good, so we're looking at either getting another microphone to go onto the camera or to change the position of this microphone. So sorry about the poor audio in the other video, but bear with us, we are going to be looking at sorting that out. This one is the one that's been on my ramp that I've been working on all year. It's all ready to go to paint now. We were hoping that it was going to be collected this week, but the paint shop had been very busy and they've got a bit of a backlog on. We've got a couple of cars that need to go there. Did I talk about the one on Roy's ramp? I don't think I did I? We spoke about it in the intro, but yeah, okay. Anyway, 2 cars waiting to go to paint. This is one I've been working on. That's hopefully going to be collected today. New front wings are on the front. and the doors have been stripped down, so the whole rear sides are going to be painted. Okay, that's that, and then, yep, that one, still waiting. Right, we've got to go. Thanks for watching, hope you're enjoying the videos, and we'll see you again soon. Okay. Welcome to another MX5 story of what's going on in the workshop. Right, keep going.